It's great to see so many of you not here today. Thank you all for not coming. I would thank you for all the gifts, but instead I'll look forward to those all in May. There are so many people who've helped make today not special in any way at all. I want to give a shout out to our photographer for not taking any photos, to our florist for not bringing along any flowers, and to all the staff at our reception venue for boarding up the doors, sealing the windows, and ensuring that none of you can get in. I really cannot say how grateful I am. I must pay tribute, first of all, to my prospective parents-in-law. You've welcomed me into your family. You've shown me every kindness. I'm so glad you're not here today to watch me marry your daughter. To my own mum, dad and step-parents, I'm incredibly grateful that you're having a restriction-free day at the beach on a small island 350 miles south of the venue on what's meant to be the happiest day of our lives. We are very grateful for how our families have been so understanding in these last-minute arrangements for not having a wedding. I'd like to raise a toast to the bridesmaids, but they've done nothing at all, so I won't. It's the same for the groomsmen. The service was going to be relatively simple. Much to Anna's dismay, I'd elected for the bronze package, followed by a massive party in a brewery. My friends, for the last couple of months, have wagered that I wouldn't be able to organise a piss-up in a brewery. And well, that's turned out to be true. The most important person to mention, seeing as it would be wrong to toast to myself, is Anna, the person with whom I intend to spend the rest of my life. I'm sure I'd have been stood here telling you how wonderful she looks in her dress. At the moment, I'm picturing something multicoloured, as I haven't seen the dress, obviously, but I do know Anna, so it will be far from traditional. What I do know is roughly how much it costs, so regardless, we all have to agree that it's the most beautiful dress we have ever seen. I know she'll look amazing in it, because she always looks amazing. And I've only got another 6 months waiting in anticipation. We met in the autumn of 2016. At that point in my life, I was getting pretty fed up with what can only be described as failing to date. I was spending most of my life travelling the country officiating kart races, accepting that I was not going to find the right person anytime soon. But when Anna first laid eyes on me, drunkenly stooped over a pub quiz machine, everything changed. For those of you who can't remember pre-COVID, have a Google. Pub quiz machines will not be coming back anytime soon. One of the biggest annoyances I've had regarding this whole affair was the engagement ring. Apparently, we were going to share all the costs of this wedding, apart from the engagement ring. So I did a bit of research, and I read that between 1 and 2 months' salary was the appropriate amount to spend on a ring. Even as a teacher, this would be far too much to spend on something which, knowing Anna, would go missing very soon. In fact, I'm surprised that the ring has lasted the 2.5 years it has. Instead, I sought advice from an ex-jeweller friend and headed off to hunt for a second-hand ring. Luckily, we found a beautiful ring with a long story and a great history. Better still, I got change from £100. Anna should have expected this from me. I've been clear from the start. If you're not buying something reduced or second-hand, why are you even buying it? I would recommend that you ask Anna the story behind her ring, but fortunately none of you are here, so you'll have to miss out on that. I proposed shortly after buying the ring. In fact, I think it was the same day. We never did things in the conventional way, much to some people's disdain, but that didn't bother us. Hell, if I got upset every time someone was annoyed or confused by what I was doing, I'd be a much sadder person. I always had joked that the only way I'd ever get married was if it was in a brewery. So, sure enough, Anna managed to find a brewery, no more than 10 miles from our house, that also did weddings. Fantastic. But I'm a man of my word. Cleverly orchestrated, Anna took us up to Woldtop under the premise of buying some beer. She told me it was cheaper direct from the brewery, and I love a bargain, so off we went. Whilst there, I naively, somewhat jokingly, asked if they did weddings. The venue was beautiful, as you'll see in May, and they did. So, they also told us they only had 2 dates left over the next 2 years, and that was the end of their weddings. Without consultation, I asked them to pencil us in. And so began the hunt for a ring. I was a man with a girlfriend who I'd recently met, a wedding date and venue booked in, and no ring with which to propose. What could have possibly gone wrong with this wedding? In fact, we'd planned for lots of potential issues with the wedding, ranging from it being a rainy day, which will be a nightmare for a wedding in a field. In fact, a note to all of you, please bring umbrellas in May. I planned for the band not turning up, my friends, and some of my family, you know who you are, drinking the bar dry, but never, and this was probably a mistake on my part, did I plan for a global pandemic. I didn't believe in wedding insurance at the time. I thought it was a con. What could possibly cause a wedding to be cancelled? This has made me reflect on that. We are lucky, however, that no one has caused a problem whatsoever in moving to a completely different date next year. Thank you, seriously, to everyone. I suppose it will give our cheese longer to mature, and the boxes of wine we shipped in from France, they get better with age, don't they? In fact, when the inevitable autobiography of my life is written, and the epic film adaptation released, there will be a beautiful montage scene in it of me telling Anna how sorted everything is, juxtaposed against increasingly ominous headlines about this mysterious virus from the east spreading to the west. I'll be sat there explaining that it will all be fine, we don't need to postpone it yet, whilst TV reports in the background announce a Europe-wide lockdown. Yet still, I feel smug knowing that I agreed with Anna to postpone the wedding 2 weeks before the government outlawed them. How's that for foresight? It did, however, mean that everyone who lacked my optimism got the dates they wanted, and we were left with a few dates to pick from to just slot in. But May's a brilliant month for weddings, far better than August, especially outdoors. See, there's that optimism again. Of course, all things considered, we have been very lucky. No one in our families has been tragically taken by this virus, and as teachers, we haven't been thrown into financial turmoil. So, in the grand scheme of things, moving a wedding seems very trivial. We are sorry we couldn't be with you all today, but we look forward to getting absolutely blathered with you in May. Just remember until then to keep washing your hands.